Let's turn to our final guest of the day. Mary O'Neill is the author of Building Blocks of Faith series. She's here to discuss her new book, The Power of Prayer. Mary, thank you for coming on the Catholic Morning Show.
Good morning, Bo. Thank you so much for having me.
It is wonderful to have you. And look, one thing I want to say is when it comes to the myriad ways that you can talk to kids about what's going on about stuff, Lego building set-esque things, smart move. What was the motivating fact about if we're going to have building blocks of faith, let's go ahead and render a child's book precisely through that motif and medium?
Absolutely. As parents of 9 children, we have Legos in our home, and we see how much they pull children in. And we love the fact that you can use them, these Lego brick toys, to build these intricate scenes, and children and parents alike are just enthralled with these images and the depth. We like to be able to use the images to incorporate, of course, Catholic art. So as often as we can, we try to replicate Catholic art because we know that draws on our memory. It helps people imagine. It brings kids into another layer that they can look up and study. And God is good, He uses everything. Why not use these Lego brick toys in order to draw children into the faith more? Throughout history, Catholics have always used stained glass windows, and when you look at those, it's just color blocks all blended together to form these beautiful images that teach the faith.
Well, and they can also be penitential for parents if you step on them, right? You're earning time off of purgatory. No. And also in a real way, what I really, truly say is whatever people want to say about old ways and new ways and whatever, one of the things that is wonderful about Legos is kids can have a concrete chance to, if not replicate completely like what they see, for instance, in your books, at least make a model appropriate to their age and development and do so. So as an educator, I'm always very pro building blocks of your own choice, but yes, mostly Lego. But let's get to the book itself, The Power of Prayer. And, so you have 2 things going on, right? Of course, a series where you have characters that have been established and things like this. But you get, in each of these series, you drill down, as it were, to a specific thing. So why the power of prayer, and how do you hope to show that in a kid's visual book in that way?
Sure thing. So, this is another instance of God's timing and God's ways. And basically, we are currently working on the New Testament. And in the meantime, our publisher, Sophia Institute Press, asked us, would you do kind of an interim project, a tandem project at the same time? And of course we said yes. So here we are. We have the Catechism of the Seven Sacraments, the Holy Mass on Earth as it is in heaven, and now our third big book, The Power of Prayer. And these are the 3, foundational things that children need as they grow up Catholic, as they learn their faith. You need the sacraments to bring you into the family of God. You need the Eucharist at Mass to continue to feed you on your journey. And of course, we need prayer. The first sin is pride, and the foundation of prayer is humility. It is a remedy for sin. We need to continue this relationship with God daily, every minute. So basically, as we wrote this book, we developed a Socratic method with Fulton and Cynthia. They are the narrators who bring you through the story, and they continue to ask and answer questions in a very Socratic method. And so basically, Cynthia is always asking these deep, profound, good questions that children have, some questions that they may not have the capacity to formulate yet. And as she asks these questions, Fulton has the answer. He turns her towards where he found the answer. And where do we always find the answer? In the Catholic Church, in the Bible, in the Catechism of the Catechism of the Catholic Church. And also in this book based on prayer, we also include the indulgentarium. So we do talk about indulgences and how you can gain them and who you can gain them for, and how, there are instances throughout your day that you can pray for yourself and others and gain grace for them. And we break it down very simply. In the beginning, we talk about what is prayer? How do you pray? Where do you pray? Why should you pray? How is this a relationship with God? How do we find the words to do these things? And of course, when you're young, you need the repetitive prayers, and we put those in there. And when you're old and as you grow and mature in your faith, you can then internalize that, have a true, genuine conversation with God. And how do you do this? I always tell my children, how do you get good at anything? You have to practice. And so we break down, of course, we explain what it is, and we cite all of that through the catechism and the Bible. And then we talk about how you can incorporate this into your daily life. Wake up, make the sign of the cross, make the morning offering, pray to your guardian angel, pray at prayer time, at mealtime, say aspirations throughout your day, which are just short calls out to God for His help and His grace, and to the saints as well, because we know that they can intercede for us. We talk about praying the Angelus or the Regina Caeli during the Easter season, and the Hour of Mercy, 3 o'clock. There are many beautiful prayers that you can pray. Just stop at 3 o'clock for a short second and pray and ask God for His mercy, thank Him for dying for us. These are all beautiful things that we can do. Gather with your family after school and at dinner time. Pray the Rosary. And, of course, the daily examination of conscience in the evening. We have a small booklet that is a pocket guide to the Sacrament of Reconciliation. And that was one of the things that Sophia asked us, can we make a book about prayer, and can we incorporate our smaller booklets into a bigger book? And so this is a way that we did that, is by including the examination of conscience. How do we examine our conscience according to the 10 Commandments? How do we make our act of contrition? When should we go to confession? Those are all explained in here. And then, of course, making the acts of faith, hope, and love, and praying a night prayer. We then talk about liturgical seasons. We talk about Easter. We talk about there are daily, Next, we talk about, actually, liturgical prayers, which are the Mass, Adoration and Benediction, and the Liturgy of the Hours, which are maybe a little lesser known, because these are things that are happening throughout the day, and it's usually sisters and priests who are joining in these prayers because they took a vow to do so. But regular lay people are always asked to pray these prayers as well, to join whenever they can. They're not under the penalty of sin for not doing so, but these prayers are available, and we should know that we can join from wherever we are, whether we're in our home, at school, at work. Stop and pray the Liturgy of the Hours, and also know that your prayers are being combined and offered with the entire church throughout the world. This is a beautiful thing for children who are, going through life saying, does it matter? My small prayer doesn't matter. Always know that your prayer is united with the church through Mary to Jesus. And it's all just so beautiful and way bigger than we are. And all we have to do is say yes and offer that.
Well,
and then we talk about, yes, go ahead.
Oh, no, go ahead. Finish your thought. I'm sorry.
We talk about the calendar, different daily and monthly themes and liturgical seasons. We talk about Easter and Christmas and how they're interrelated. And, of course, Easter being the biggest season and the most important to our faith. And, of course, that can't happen without Christmas. And we talk about just additional powerful prayers and rosaries and litanies and devotions. And we try to include as many things as we can in these short 200 pages in graphic novel format. And it's always interesting as we talk to parents and grandparents and teachers, and they say, that's all in there? And it's in this seemingly childlike book. Yes, because we need to give credit to children that they can internalize and understand things, especially the faith, which is so important, and really just raise that bar. And first introduce it, then practice it, and continue it throughout their life.
Well, that's absolutely wonderful. We've hit the end of the interview and the end of the show, so I just want to give you a chance before we leave you. So this is out by Sophia Institute Press. Where can people find both this book and about more of your guys' series in general?
Yes, we have a website as well. It's Upon This Block, so instead of Upon This Rock, so the blocks, the building blocks of faith. So, and Sophia Institute Press, of course, please support your Catholic stores that are local to you, and Holy Heroes has them, and of course Amazon if you want it delivered to your door.
All right, well, we appreciate it so much. The book is The Power of Prayer, part of the Building Blocks of Faith series, and it has been wonderful to get a chance to speak with Mary O'Neill, who is the author. Mary, thank you for coming on the Catholic Morning Show.
I appreciate the opportunity, Bo. Thank you so much.